I hear you guys have written some new songs.
We have. We've been writing. We're going to go in May next year and record. Trying to get a record out every 2 years.
Excellent.
And the new stuff is really killer. Actually, they played me a new song right before we went on stage last night. And I'm really impressed. This next record is going to be ferocious.
A monster.
We're attacking on this one. I know it's way more up-tempo.
Yeah.
Way more articulate in its methods. You know, drumming is going to be insane. We've never at this point, actually had the tunes this early.
Yeah.
We already have a name for the record. We already have a feeling. I got 224 songs just for this next record, and I'm going to record 12 of them.
Looking to put out the new record next October, is that correct? Or
we're going to try. I mean, it's either going to hit October or January the following year. Not going to give up the ghost on anything that we're doing, because I think the next record is going to be extremely special. So I'm not going to give up the ghost.
have you guys got like a cameraman or anything with you, kind of filming the shows? Or
We do. We've had a guy from day one, from the first record, and we're looking to do a DVD. We just don't know yet when. It's kind of crazy to have a camera guy in your face for 7 or 8 years. Dan is an incredible guy. He's done a lot of our videos. He did the Fate Stepped Into video, End of the Line video. I don't know any band out there that's taped themselves for 8 years and not released it. So at this point, we've had members coming and going in the beginning of the career, things happening. I mean, us almost dying. I mean, we've had incredible things filmed. So we'll have to see what the label wants to do, because anybody who's in a band knows, is very familiar with the fact that you're owned. So it's really up to them to what they want to do and how they want to release it.
with your previous band, it kind of got quite corrupted by sort of fame and money and a lot of drugs and things like that. Do you think you've made like a conscious decision to leave all that bullshit out of it?
My past band was very democratic. I think that was the problem. That led to all the problems. We have a certain work ethic, and so we know what gets in the way of that. Money, fame, all that means nothing. We stay away from hard drugs, and we stay away from the things that'll kill a band, you know what I mean? So ego, fame, money, drugs, and oftentimes a woman.
What are your top 3 tours of all time?
Of all time? Well, I was fortunate in my earlier career to tour the world with Sabbath and Pantera, which was, to do stadiums with those bands was incredible. And then in highlights, we're starting over with this band. I went and reopened for every single band that ever opened for Coal Chamber. I mean, from Hatebreed to you name it. Download's an extremely good time. Soundwave, when we came over here, was unbelievable. Get off stage, go watch Lamb of God, and go watch 9 Inch Nails. And
Well, that's actually the first heavy, kind of pure heavy festival to come to Australia, really. So it's kind of cool to be a part of it in the early days.
AJ's doing a great job with it. I know it's going to get bigger, and it's I think it's given Big Day Out a run for the money. They got to realize that I think people want heavy metal. So.
Heavy metal fans are actually pretty open-minded when you get right down to it. Like, a lot of them have quite a broad spectrum of taste, even though heavy metal's always kind of stigmatized as this thing in the mainstream media.
I think the stigma of the dumbed-down metalhead, the kind of rock and roll, I think that's completely a falsity. Falsity.
Falsity. It's a falsity. I heard you played North American flute. Is that correct?
Yeah, I play Native American flute.
Yeah, cool.
That happened really strange. I was playing with my Doberman on the beach and grabbed his collar, and it broke my finger, and they told me that I'd never have a grip again in my finger. And we were going through New Mexico, and we stopped at this Native American store. And in speaking to this older gentleman, he sold me a flute. Now I own 30 of them, and I've made a record called the High Desert Moon. So you can go to MySpace, High Desert Moon, and check it out. And I did it with a guy named Greg Weiss. And his father is responsible for writing some huge hits, Rhinestone Cowboy. It healed my finger. Heals my soul too. Takes me to a totally different place. So you go scream your ass off for a living, and then you can go in the back and chill out and get in a whole nother vibe,
So you guys all play guitar, is that right?
It's a cool thing that everyone in the band does play guitar. They write individually riffs, and then they come together and they piece it together. I wait for them to bring me tunes, and once I hear a few of the songs and we've kind of decided on a direction of where we're going, then I sit down and I start to write, and I piece everything apart. I'll take a bunch of stuff that are all choruses and write them in blue, and all verses and write them in red, and then start sticking them into tunes where they fit. I'd like to bring my family here. I think they'd love this place.
Your kids metalheads?
Yeah, I got a 12-year-old that's an absolute metalhead.
Killer.
Yeah, I wake up to 6 in the morning before school. He's jamming. Yeah, he's a drummer too, so I got to collect stuff for him when I go on the road. Drum heads from bands, and it's really cool.
Excellent.
So if you're watching this, Simon, you better be banging the kit.